Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and answer your questions live. Hopefully you can see it okay. My stream is saying that it's going a little bit slow, so hopefully it will be fine in a few moments. Alright guys, now let's start off with the first bit of news, which we have some pretty interesting updates if they're true. I still put them in the rumor mill, although I will say some of my sources have confirmed some of these things being true. Okay, now let's go over the first one. So the first bit is that the Galaxy Note 9 may be released earlier than Samsung's normal schedule because of their accelerated schedule. Now, I did say that this was going to happen, and this is basically what they're hearing now is the same as what I heard before. So what is going to happen is basically in late July or early August is when they're expecting the Galaxy Note 9. Now, when I'm expecting it, I'm expecting the announcement to happen at the end of July, and then the launch to happen in August. My guess is it'll be the second or third week of August is when the launch will happen. Now again, this is not unfamiliar territory for Samsung, simply for the fact that they did do this same time period with the Note 7. Hopefully the same thing won't happen though, of course. But that's the big thing that is that they are moving it up, as last year it was announced in August and came out in September. This year will be about a full month earlier, being announced in July and coming out in August. So that is when we're expecting the Note 9, which is why we're getting more and more information on it now. Some good, some bad. Now here's the second part of this. This accelerated schedule also is being told by the Korea Herald, as they are also moving up again. We covered this 2 weeks ago, but more and more sources are saying that this is happening. So take it with a grain of salt still. Again, as I pointed out before, this has been the same rumor for multiple weeks. So, multiple years. That the S10 will, instead of launching at MWC, will launch in January at CES. This has never happened before. It has been rumored 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row, the same rumor has happened that the S series will launch earlier at CES, which is in the first week of January, instead of MWC, which is the last week of February. This has been, again, happening for years, but they say the reason it's going to happen is because in January they're going to announce the S10, and in February at MWC they're going to announce their Galaxy X, the foldable Galaxy smartphone. Now, I think this is really kind of an interesting, if not bad, way of doing business, quite frankly, because the S10 will have hurt sales if you know another phone is coming out. And it's not that you might get this other phone, but you want to at least know what you're getting. If there was a Note 9, but you knew that there was a Note 9 Plus coming out 2 months later, wouldn't you wait? You know, that's my big thing, that I think it's a big mistake. Now, granted, that is a different scenario because this will be a different kind of phone. It will be a more expensive phone. It is very easily that the foldable smartphone will be over $1,000 easily. It will cross that $1,000 threshold. The question is, how high will it get? Will it be $1,200? Will it be $1,300? These are possibilities. Again, this is a foldable screen. You cannot break the glass is essentially what is a possibility of happening. So for that reason, it's a very interesting idea to think of them speeding up. I cannot see this make good business sense. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think it would be a mistake to launch the Galaxy S10, the 10th year anniversary Galaxy phone, at CES, come out in maybe the beginning of February or the end of January, and then announce the Galaxy X at the end of February and then come out in March? Because that is what this is suggesting. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I, for one, do think that would be a mistake. I think if anything, they should announce the S10 and the Galaxy X at the same time and release them separately. That I would think would be a good idea. You can release it in February, early February for the S10, and then you can release your Galaxy X in March. Really give them a separate launch date, kind of similar to how Apple did in that sense, but that way you're going to be better. Even with the Note, when the Note 4 came out and the Note Edge came out, the Note 4 came out in September, the Note Edge came out in, I want to say November or December. It was a split launch. I think that's what Samsung should do. The announcement at the same time, but the launch at different times. Let me know what you guys think again in the comment section. I'm really curious on your guys' thoughts about it. All right, now some really bad news is there's getting more and more reports that more and more people are agreeing with, which I would be very sad about if this is true, that the S10 will be the first one with the in-fingerprint display instead of the Note 9. More and more reports are going about this. I think this would be a big mistake for Samsung. I get it, you want to make your 10th year anniversary of flagship big, but you're really going to lose sales. The funny thing is this is what I think might be Samsung's saving grace, to be honest. The reason why I think Samsung might not lose sales is because of one mistake that every other Android user is making. If second half of 2018, all Android users make a notch phone and Samsung does it, I think that will save Samsung in sales. I think because people hate the notch and Android manufacturers are stupid for putting a notch on there when no one on Android wants it, I think it's going to be a big issue for sales for everyone that does a notch phone. If the Pixel 2 has a notch, it will not sell well. I'm telling you that right now. And not that the Pixel 2 sold gangbusters anyway. Again, that phone only sold about 1 million to I think 3 million up to date. So it has not sold that much compared to other flagship smartphones. But that is a really big concern, and I think that's the only reason the Note 9 might sell is because of the notch in other smartphones. If all the other smartphones of 2016 or 2018 have a notch, I think that's what might save Samsung. Other than that though, I think the Note 9 so far is looking a little bit disappointing, to be honest. Speaking of other phones that I am interested in though, Razer is going to make an announcement in 2 days for their new smartphone, it looks like. Now, this is great implementations that this is a smartphone. Yes, it could be a tablet. Yes, it could be a laptop and that line is covering up the hinge, but it looks like a smartphone, which I am really liking. I actually just sold my old Razer smartphone and basically am really excited to see what Razer would bring out. I love the Razer smartphone except for the camera, and the display was a little bit dull on the dull side, even though it was lightning fast with the 120Hz display. I'm really interested to see what Razer would do this time around. The 8 gigs of RAM was awesome. I loved the speed of this phone way more than the Pixel. It was way more fluid than it. The speed was just maximized because of that 8 gigs of RAM. I'm a power user. We've gone through this. It definitely is noticeable. And you'll see in the G7 battery review that we just finished recording that there is a big difference in how you use your smartphone and how long it can last you. So overall, I'm pretty excited about this. Again, definitely excited to see what will come of Razer's phone, and definitely hope we would get it if it comes out in 2 days. We just got their laptop. I will do such quick turnaround for that laptop in order to get the smartphone, so we'll have to wait and see though. All right, there is another rumor on Apple, and that is, if you do know, the HomePod sales have not been that great for Apple. Although Apple's making more profit than everyone else on the HomePod, or in terms of smart speakers, they are not selling where they want to sell. I mean, Alibaba is selling more than them in terms of their own smart speaker. So basically, they're just not selling that well. So much so that there is a rumor now that in September's event, or maybe even November's event, that there will be an announcement for a cheaper HomePod. I don't think this is something that is going to make it this season, to be honest. Now, there is rumors that it might make it this year. I think it's more likely going to be announced this year and come out later, just like the original HomePod was. We'll have to wait and see, but that's what I bet on. I think if they come out with the $200 HomePod, I think it would sell very well. But for the price point it's at, I just don't see it selling well at all. Now, the hydrogen phone from Red, the Hydrogen 1, I was a little bit annoyed. I'm gonna try to reach out to Red because it was in Hollywood where a lot of YouTubers like The Verge and other people were invited to see the actual Red phone there. I'm very curious to see how it turns out. I'm very curious in the modularity of this phone, but it's really curious. Like, I get you can control your Red camera with this smartphone. That's pretty cool. But there has to be more than that. I really want to see what attachments are going to be done. They say the hologram cannot be filmed because it doesn't look good on camera. So I'm just really curious overall to see how it is. I hear it's a very big smartphone. People are saying it's bigger than the iPhone 8 Plus. So it's a very big smartphone, but it does look like Verizon and AT&T will be carrying it this summer. The dates though are kind of messed, although I know some people at Warner Brothers, so I got some friends that go there, so I'm gonna try to see if about this AT&T event, but I'm very curious to see when this is coming out. Now again, we do hear August is the main time frame, but I'm just very curious to see the smartphone and if it's really worth the price. I mean, you're talking about $1,300 is the cheaper version, and then you have the titanium version going for $1,600. This is a company that, you know, sells what's their camera? I think the cheapest camera is $25,000 or something along those lines, or $30,000. So this is very expensive quality, high-end cameras that movies are shot with, but it's really curious to see how it'll be overall, and will it be the one that everyone goes with. In other news, Samsung has confirmed that yes, they are going to have a gold one, at least if you believe what FLeaks says. So he has heard from his sources that yes, the gold one will be coming to the US this summer, which does coincide always with what Samsung does. As I've told you guys before, Samsung releases 2 more of the S series colors throughout the year. One is during the summer and one is during the holidays. So this would be the summer one, and then if the Note 9 comes out with a new color, the S series typically follows that color in the holiday season. So I don't really care for this, to be honest, just because I get it, you want to jump up sales a little bit, but I really wish these colors would just come out at launch. I don't get it when Apple does it, when Samsung does it. It's just something that I wish we would just have these all at launch and we could pick whatever color we wanted. I think that would go over a lot better with consumers. All right, in the next 2 parts, we do have Google changing some stuff around in their ecosystem. Now, the first one is just really quick. If you have used Google services before, they are now calling their Google Drive or Google Storage, cloud storage, Google One. So this is going to be the new storage name you're going to see across the board, and basically it's your online storage for Google Drive, everything. They seem pretty much, at least the one I was paying for is the same price, which before I was paying I think $2 a month for 100 gigabytes. So that's what I think is still what I saw. But yeah, you can get anywhere from 100 gigabytes to 30 terabytes online storage. So overall, I think it's a good price point for online storage if you really do need it. I myself, like I said, I still have the $2 a month for 100 gigs, and it serves me very well. Okay, now the really important news is Google Play Music and YouTube Red are going away. Surprise! They are going to be replaced with YouTube Music and YouTube Premium. So basically, these are 2 services. Now, YouTube Music Premium will be $10 and YouTube Premium will be $12. So what's the difference? So with YouTube Music, you get ad-free music, you get listening to the background, and you can download music. So all of those 3 things are with YouTube Music, coming in at $10 a month. This is obviously the same pretty much as like Spotify. But for only $2 more, you essentially have the same thing with YouTube, which is much more better. And this was essentially what YouTube Red was. You have ad-free videos, so I myself have YouTube Red and Google Play Music, so I have the combined service myself right now. I can tell you I would never go back. So one, I never have to watch ads on videos, which is really important for me when I drive and I'm listening to podcasts. It would be so annoying for an ad to come up right in the middle of it on a YouTube video, so it's really nice that it's always skipped. The second thing is that they play in the background. So basically, I can hit my home screen, I can do whatever I want, and the videos will continue to play in the background. I can download my videos offline, so I don't use any of my data when I'm on the go. This is a really big thing for me because even though I have unlimited data on T-Mobile, I am a power user, so I used to get to the 30 gigs very easily before this ability to download videos, and now I don't have to worry about it. Plus, it's so nice when you have to go on an airplane or something like that, just have the videos saved offline. And finally, you do get access to all YouTube original programming, like the Cobra Kai series that just came out. And that's honestly the reason for the price hike. I feel like the reason that they are going now to $12 a month instead of $10 a month is the fact that they want to upgrade the price for users. Now, here is the thing. From what they are saying, if you already have YouTube Red, basically you will automatically have access at your current price. Now that's really important to me because I got on Google Play Music when it first came out, so I only paid $7 a month for it. If I would then move to this, and I got YouTube Red for free. If I now would go to this, that's $5 more a month. Yeah, it's not a crazy amount, but that's a pretty good amount a month more. So I'm very happy that, at least from what they're saying about this, I will still receive everything at my current price. Also, if you have YouTube Red in your area right now, they are making this very clear. Buy YouTube Red right now and you will keep the same price. So if you were thinking about getting YouTube Red, even if you want to cancel it later, you know, get a 30-day free trial and then cancel it later, when this launches, you will still pay the $10 price, not the $12 price. Make sense? So overall, I think this is I think this was inevitable because, again, they are going to start doing, from what we hear, a lot more series on YouTube Red or YouTube Premium. YouTube Originals basically are going to start going more and more, just like Cobra Kai. You're going to see a Step Up series come up. All these different series come up, and they're really going to try to go for that Netflix bubble, for the TV bubble. And I think that's important for YouTube. But I will say this, I wish there was a YouTube TV lower price, especially because I don't think they have enough channels to charge that much. I think that's too much for what the channels they have available. If you're an MLB fan, it's great, but other than that, I think that they do need to bring more channels, because I would love to get YouTube TV and cancel my cable service, but YouTube TV isn't even in my radar for which one I would switch to. As of right now, I would still probably switch to PlayStation Vue, or I would switch to DirecTV Now, because DirecTV Now has the most channels for the price point, and Vue has the most ability for the price point in terms of recording, DVR, all this kind of stuff. It is the best off in terms of extra features and availability. So that is just a little bit behind streaming services as well, as we're closing in on that. But yeah, if you don't have YouTube Red, you were thinking about getting it, get it now, and you will not be affected by the price hike. All right, guys, that was all of the news this week. Let's go ahead and start getting to your comments now. Again, if you have a comment or a question you want to ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. My son wants to buy a OnePlus 6, upgrade from his HTC 10. I told him he should wait until the OnePlus 6T or pay more for the Pixel 3. Was that good advice? I still rock the SA Plus and I'm happy with it. Well, here's the thing. Will the OnePlus 6T come out later this year? Yes. Will it be better than the OnePlus 6? I have a strong hint that it will not have a notch. I think if there's one thing the 6T changes is the notch will be gone. That is my biggest guess from it. But other than that, don't know what else they're going to change too much. I mean, the 6T changed the look of it, right? We had a fingerprint scanner on the bottom. It got moved to the back with the 5T so that it looked more like every other flagship on Android. The Pixel 3 would be a great phone to wait for, but it just depends on how he's doing. I mean, he has an HTC 10, so it's not that bad of a phone, but I can understand if he wanted to upgrade. The OnePlus 6 will be a huge upgrade from the HTC 10. However, at the same time, I think the OnePlus 6T will not offer, honestly, too big of a difference this year. I think what you're going to more see a value in is waiting for the Pixel 3 or Pixel 3 XL. That's what I would personally wait for over it. And if he has an HTC, the Pixel is more similar to the HTC. The OnePlus is really great. I can't wait to get my OnePlus 6, but I'm really interested to see how that'll go about. I would say it was good advice. But I would say more likely he would either get the OnePlus 6 now or the Pixel 3 later. I don't think the OnePlus 6T will have that much of a difference to justify the purchase comparing later, if that makes sense. I just think it's going to be the better buy at the time because yeah, you have no notch. What coming phones in 2 months? So the coming phones in 2 months, I think you're going to get the Moto Z series come out. So that one will most likely be one that comes out probably not too long from now. That one will be one of them. What else? I think you're going to see the HTC U12. That one's going to be coming out. And we're going to get the OnePlus 6. Those are the only phones that are going to be coming in the next 2 months. 4K display for the S10. I would say if the S10 can do a 4K display, I would think that they wouldn't come out of the box 4K. I think it would be the same thing that happens now, where it can do a 2K display, but they stay at 1080p out of the box, and most people will never change it unless you really know what it offers. But the 4K experience, I just don't see a point of it yet. I would say let's see it on a tablet first, because for a smartphone, I just don't see the need for it, really. Too small of a screen. But I will say that it's a possibility. I thought it would definitely be a possibility because of the Gear VR, but right now people are moving away from the smartphone and the VR and more to the standalone VR headset. So I think more likely this year or the beginning of next year, we're going to get a Samsung VR or Galaxy VR without a phone adapter. It's just going to be built into itself. It might be $300 and $400 or something along those lines, and it's going to be a standalone VR headset with a 4K display. I would think that is more likely. Where is my LG V30 video? Look, man, I got so many videos. I really have. I've been recording for the past 4 days straight. I had to be fair, I have not done the LG V30 video. I did do some other ones, but yeah. Look, I don't know if I'm gonna do it anymore. The G7 is taking up all my time. Here's the thing. The hidden features on the G7 will coincide with the V30. So I'm just gonna do it on the G7 most likely. I know. But I most likely will just do it on the G7 and those will be the same. You can apply those to the V30. Opinion on the red hydrogen phone. The Verge had a video on it. I did see that. Again, my thing is, for the price point, unless you're really at that niche market and you own a red camera, I don't think you should definitely get it if you don't own a red camera. That's honestly my straight up opinion. If you don't own a red camera, you shouldn't do it. So that's already eliminated 99.99% of people out there. I bought God of War, great game. I'm glad you bought it, man. It's awesome. LG G7 worth 800? No, I would not say it's worth 800. I would say it better come out no more than 750. If that, I think it should honestly come out at 650, and I think that would be a really great price for the LG G7. Not at all because of the quality of it. Do I have it over here? Over here. Not at all because of the quality of this phone, but more so because it needs a differentiator, and honestly it doesn't have it. The wide angle camera is not that much of a differentiator in order to, that's the only reason you should buy this phone. And there's not many other reasons too. The wide angle is the main reason why I would buy this phone, and I'm just letting you know that from what I've used it, it's not bad, but you need to be different. So that's my big thing about it. As more Note 9 leaks come out, are you getting more disappointed? I am pretty much disappointed at this point. I'm hoping Samsung will surprise me. I'll find out in about a month or two everything there is to know, but we'll have to wait and see. Opinion on GTA 5 making a profit of $6 billion. That's the most for an entertainment product. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto has always had a strong following. So I mean, I can understand that it's made a lot of money, but yeah, billions. When people don't always understand that the video game market is so much more profitable than even the movie market. So yeah, video game market has only grown in years, and it's only getting bigger. Are you digging the Razer laptop they sent you? Yes. I am finding it a little bit difficult as the trackpad is on the right side. I found myself for the first hour constantly going like this, and like, oh wait, my trackpad's over here. So yeah, got to tell that. I started downloading Steam and started downloading some video games on there. So I'll be able to test games. I saw someone wanted me to test Fortnite. I haven't played Fortnite, but I guess it's might as well test. If there's one game that people are playing right now, it's Fortnite, so I can test it out how it is. It has a 1080 GTX, so it's going to destroy Fortnite in terms of quality, but we'll see. Tech guy, I am a die-hard Android fan, but if they keep copying Apple for everything they do, I'm jumping ship. Samsung forever, orphan now. That's interesting. Do you mean you're a stock Android? Because Samsung is still without a notch, and they don't copy as much as everyone else. Not to say they don't copy, but they don't copy as much as everyone else. When are we going to see the Tab S4? I'm guessing they move that all the way back to September or August. Actually, I would say September, because I think that would be at IFA. So yeah, I think that's going to be at IFA, which is end of August, early September. Note 9 will be a dud, so it doesn't overshadow the S10 anniversary phones. Yeah, but that's so stupid. Why would you not make a big impact this year and then lose money this year and possibly lose users? Note X then, yeah, that's what people are going for. If the Pixel 2 has a notch, Lou from Unbox Therapy will have a stroke. Maybe. That would be funny. It would get views. Pixel will be like ZTE notches. I don't care what kind of notch it is, to be honest. If it's a notch, it's a notch. Like that's it's not gonna sell well. Android users do not like notches. Every single survey has shown that Android users do not like notches. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just lettered. Everyone drink. That is the rule of our show, by the way. Does your downloaded dual camera APK work for the Note 8 since the Oreo update? I have not tested it since then, so I do not know. It does not work on the S9 because the entire interface changed, so that kind of annoys the hell out of me. But did the Note 8 camera change to the S9 style? Because then it might not work, which again really annoys me. Have you decided on a VPN yet? I canceled my NordVPN. It's really making my internet slow. I was actually looking into NordVPN, so I'm glad you told me that. That was one of the ones I was leaning towards. So if there's making your internet really slow, I'm gonna check ruled off. So yeah. I think notches will die out next year. I think notches will die out either the end of this year or next year, depending on how quickly manufacturers can change the way they were going. Because I will tell you, before this backlash, people were like, oh, notches all 2018. I still need to do that video, right, on lies or things that tech YouTube reviewers do not tell you. Because that is a big part of it. Yeah, so yeah. 120 hertz on a smartphone is insane. Keep going, Razer. Absolutely. Cell phones are getting boring into goddamn expensive. $1,000. I can buy a little bucket for that and put it a down payment on a car. Yeah, seriously. I'm amazed by how few the leaks are for Apple this year. Well, remember, Apple leaks don't start coming up till June typically, so wait till next month. Arresting their employees have cut back leaks. Apple isn't joking around. Yeah, but they're still not as strict as Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was the kind of guy that would threaten your family, then threaten you. Like, I mean, he made sure there was no leaks. But ever since he's not been around anymore, that's when you've gotten Apple leaks every single year. I just get the Galaxy launch colors. They need to release them all at once. I agree. Have you tried the Google new news app? No, I haven't. I did put the link actually on Twitter because I remember, I think it was you or someone else that asked me about it, and I put the link 2 days before it came out officially. I had the APK, and so I left a link for it on my Twitter. But yeah, no, I haven't tried it yet. I probably will just try it and see how it is, but I don't know if I'll end up using it. Wait, Google will split their services? Yes. Nice, I gotta keep my Google price. Yes, you do. Will Samsung X be any more than a novelty? I think the Samsung X will be a proof of concept, just like the Note Edge was. Most people don't remember the Note Edge was a $1,000 smartphone way before all of this. It was a $1,000 smartphone. This was still when we had 2-year contracts. I think at AT&T you had to put $400 or $500 down, which was insane at the time. For an iPhone, you would put $250 down, or $200 down at the time. So that was insane for a down payment that crazy. But it still sold. It still sold. I think it sold like 100,000 or so around there, or maybe I know that I think it was around 200,000 when it was all said and done. But overall, people still bought it, and it was because it was so different from anything else at the time. I was one of them. I was one of them who bought it. I bought on Verizon. In Verizon, it was a $900 smartphone. AT&T was the most expensive at $1,000, but people bought it. So yeah, it's really interesting, but I think it's more of a proof of concept that will be the bendable phone. But again, it will be that thing. Like I used to tell everyone, the reason why I got the Note Edge because it was the coolest thing. Every single time I would be at a crowded place like a Starbucks, people would ask me, what is that? Because nothing else was like it at the time. And it was a niche phone. Like no one knew that this was really out unless you were techie and in that world. So that was really cool. Have you tried XDA navigation gestures app on the Play Store? It allows any Android device to use the gestures. No, I haven't. I am very interested in that, Denard, though. Thank you for finding that one, man. I will definitely check it out. I think one day all of us will pay for YouTube regardless of ads or not. That's a possibility. On any Android. Oh yes. Should I upgrade to the Note 9 from the Note 8? That is really hard to say right now because as of right now, the Note 9, seems like it's gonna upgrade the processor. Like, I mean, and the camera, but that's the difference from the Note 8 to the Note 9, and that's not enough. Really, I would say a lot of people should upgrade, especially because look, this shortens the gap too, right? If it comes out in August and the S10 comes out in January, that's a shorter gap now. Maybe you should wait for the S10. It's a dangerous game. Why Apple products so expensive? Even the 6S Plus is still expensive because they can. Because people still buy it at that price. That's why. Someday the notch will be the mullet of smartphones. I think it's kind of already getting there. Ricky, what do you look forward to on the Note 9? It's hard to say now. It's hard to say. Honestly, I don't know. It's a bigger battery. That's the one thing that I'm still hearing that will happen is the bigger battery. But that's about it. It's really not that much to look forward to, unfortunately. I would say that really sucks, but it's what we're looking at right now. Is it Yanni or Laurel? So the funny thing is, I saw science videos on this, so I knew what it was explained to me. So here's the thing. The original audio file was Laurel, then they distorted it with a higher file on top of it for Yanni. So it's both. You want to know the truth, it's both, really. But basically, if most people that can hear higher pitches hear Yanni, and most people that could hear lower pitches very easily can hear Laurel. That's what it is. It's just higher pitch or lower pitch and what your ears are more attuned to. That's it. That's the big mystery of Yanni or Laurel. But yes, it was originally a Laurel file that got distorted with higher frequency, which was matching the Yanni file, and that's what it was. That's just it. That's it. That's the big mystery behind it. So yeah, it was. You can say it was originally Laurel. I heard Yanni, and then again on the science video, ASAP Science, I think, was where they showed both. So they put the higher pitch version and I heard Yanni. They put the lower pitch version and I heard Laurel. So I actually heard both in that video. So yeah. Ricky, it seems like you're forgetting that Samsung is making their in-house solution for in-display fingerprint sensor, which is going to be quicker, more consistent, and more secure than the current ones. I'm not forgetting that. I'm just saying they've been trying to figure out this technology since last year. So you have to remember, it was originally thought that in-fingerprint display was going to be on the Note 8. I'm not joking. That was a possibility at one point. They had a prototype with it in there. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't fast enough. This is a year later. There's no real reason that they shouldn't have had it by now, in my opinion. Now, the thing again they're saying is production, the amount of production is what's stalling them again. They got it faster than a lot of the other ones we're seeing on the market right now. But the problem is with it is that it's not being able to be mass produced yet again. So, which is why they might have the delay yet again. Kind of sucks. Let's see. Biggest issue with the current ones, in fact, that they are downgraded from what they are now. It won't be sacrificing the current gesture control for something or worse in general. I get what you're saying. Ricky, can you please explain why Fortnite was free on PlayStation Store? How do they make money? does Sony pay them? I do not know that. I don't know how that worked out. Yeah, I don't know. It could have been that, yeah, Sony paid them to develop for their console, and they get more players. So there you go. Especially because Sony doesn't let you cross really on many games, so that could have been why too. Surface Pro is way better than Samsung tablet. Oh yeah, I do not like the Samsung little tablet Windows thing. I don't like them. I never have. I had a Surface Pro, loved it for a long time. I do have a Samsung laptop now that is great, and was much cheaper than the Surface was, and it's perfect for everything I need. It has an i7 processor, 7th gen because I got it last year. Has 16 gigs of RAM with a I think a Radeon 540 graphics card, which is perfect for really good photo editing and light video editing on the go. So it had everything I need. Plus it had a stylus so I can edit and have people sign documents. What do you think of the OnePlus 6? I do not have it yet, so take that as it were. But I'm waiting for it, and I think it's awesome. It's still good for the price point, but we'll have to wait and see when we get it in the studio. Do you think the Oreo update will come out for the Note 5? Probably. I could see it coming out for that, but that would probably be the oldest Note. Note 4 probably will not get it. What is a great 65-inch TV, $1,000 and under? It really depends. I got my Samsung for around $1,000. That was an MU8000 series, which is last year's model. So I don't know if you can get that for cheaper now. But Samsung, I think, makes still the current best LED TVs. Not OLED. OLED is clearly better until micro LED comes out. But I think if you're getting like a bang for the buck for 65-inch, because that is hard to manage under that price range, I think Vizio is a good brand. And Sony, you can't really get that low. LG would be okay, but I think bang for the buck, I would rather get a Vizio than an LG for a lower price point. LG makes the best TVs in my opinion for OLED, but yeah, that would be my stance. I would say Vizio or Samsung, but it really depends. I think most people will get the Galaxy 10 and see the bendable phone as a prototype. I agree. Google News is a great app. Try it. Better than having multiple news apps. Yeah. My screen froze. Did you answer my question on the Note 5 getting the Oreo update? Yes, I did. I said most likely the Note 5 will probably eventually get it. Are you going to do a full review between the Note 8 and 9 when the Note 9 comes out? I'll do a comparison, yeah. Is there a working pixel camera for the Galaxy S9? Yeah, I have it. I'm actually doing a review on the comparison between the photos, and when I post it, I'll have the link in there. I got the OnePlus 5 8 gig RAM, love it. Yeah, I had it too. It was awesome. Gear S4 release with the Note 9 X and S10 with the Note 9. Also, when do you think the new Icon Gear X will be released? Either this year with the Note 9 or that could be next year. ASAP Science is a cool channel. I agree. Good evening. Hope you and your family are good and safe this weekend. Thank you. I will wait and see for the U12 Pixel 3 or LG 40. Either way, it's an upgrade from the S8. That is true. I think that smartphone OEMs will begin doing a 2-year increments updates to smartphone pretty soon. I don't think so. And here's the thing, because people are still buying. Yes, they're buying less, but if they didn't have these upgrades every year, that's so much, millions, if not billions of dollars. So I think even if the smartphone sales decline, they still won't. They still will not do it every 2 years. I just don't see that happening. Maybe with ones that aren't as successful, like HTC, or you know, ones that aren't doing that well, maybe some of those, but I just don't see it happening. Any news on who's making the Pixel 3 screens? No news. Is it true the Note 9 will be released June 4th? No, I can tell you that is for a fact not true. I can't tell you how I know that, but I do know that. Let's see. Fortnite gets money from microtransactions like season pass, level boost, outfits. Got it. Okay. Be honest with us. Do you really like the phones that are coming out today? Be on his cousin. I don't like. I'll keep my no. 9 skip phone. Wait, sorry, I couldn't understand your sentence at the end. But do I like the phones that are coming out today? Yeah, for the most part I do. I think that some phones, like, you can see in the presentation this phone sales right away. Like the G7, I could see it sales right away. The HTC U12, even with this amazing specs I hear it's gonna have, I pretty much know it sales. You can tell how a phone will sell, if it's gonna sell well or not. And we're seeing more and more of that. I think it's getting more predictable, and I really think that Samsung was foolish this year not to go more all out and wait for next year. Do you play Destiny 2, or have you ever played I love the game? Yeah, I got it for my birthday actually, and I did play it a lot for the first month and a half, but then other games came out and got wrapped up in those. Ricky, did you watch the royal wedding? It was a big event here in England. I did not. Just didn't have any interest in it, and yeah, I just didn't. I love her though. I used to watch her all the time in Suits. That was the show she was on for a long time, so yeah. OnePlus 6 is the most boring flagship of 2018. No features that stand out. The G7 is better. The spec race is over. Who cares? Well, here's the thing. The OnePlus has 8 gigs RAM, whereas the G7 has 6, right? Or 4, depending on the region you're in. But the OnePlus also has an OLED display. That's a big plus, in my opinion. Other than that, interesting to see which one's going to be better in low light quality. But at the end of the day, I will say this, that overall with the OnePlus 6, it's a cheaper price. That means something to a lot of people. If a phone's cheaper, people will buy it. That's the truth of it. Is the G7 going to sell more? Yes, of course it is. There's way more brand recognition. And that alone will make it sell more than the OnePlus. Apple coming out with an OLED TV? No. I think it will be 1-year upgrade. I think that's a possibility. I use tweaks from developer Android Police APK Mirror to update app to make my phone run. What do you use? Speaker boost. Sorry, I just can't understand all that you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you're using your speaker boost. I haven't found really works. Really haven't worked in a long time, so I don't find they work anymore. The S10 is getting more leaks than the Note 9. Yeah, right now. Does Samsung and Microsoft have a partnership? Microsoft sells Galaxy phones and always put them in their ads. Microsoft has to support someone, and they're not going to support Apple. So yeah, they're going to support Samsung more so because they're a top seller just like them. As long as the S10 has no notch, it will sell like hotcakes. Maybe even with the notch. I hope not. I think it'll sell way more without the notch. After Destiny 1, I didn't have any interest in the newer game. It was too underbaked and repetitive missions. Destiny 1 definitely was. Destiny 2, I did like the campaign, although I felt it could have been longer. The campaign was good, in my opinion. Really good villain. Talk to your Samsung person and tell them we want a 4,000 milliamp battery and 8 gigs of RAM, and they have to pass it up the chain to make it happen. I've tried. I've told them plenty of times. I told them that last year. Still haven't got word back on that. Does screen burn it only affect TVs or any type of screen with OLED? It affects any type of screen with OLED. I myself got screen burn last year. Oh no, not last year. 2 years on my S7 Edge. Was that no, that was 2 years ago. On my S7 Edge did have screen burn. So yeah, any OLED display can have screen burn if you have too much on the same screen. Always. You get it on TVs because there are news channels that have this thing right here called the lower third, and this gets burned into your screen, for instance. I don't use tweaks. I really don't tweak my phone. Except for the Google camera. I do have that. Do you think Samsung will merge S series and Note series, make the S Pen optional? No, I don't think they ever will. The tech media needs to stop falling for OnePlus trap. It is most overhyped company and does not sell nowhere near top tier phones. Oh yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Anyone that says like the OnePlus is like at the level of like a Samsung or an LG or Xiaomi or a Huawei, they're nowhere near their numbers in terms of selling. It's not. It's not. Even, but here's the thing. The Pixel isn't either. Most people are surprised when they hear the Pixel only sold about 1 million units. That was at the end of the year. By the end of the year in 2017, they had only sold 1 million units. You would have thought that phone, because of the media coverage, sold millions and millions. It sold like 10 million smartphones. But no, they didn't. They were still not that popular. But they get a lot of coverage because techies like it. Same with the OnePlus. It's a great bang for the buck phone, and techies like it. What's a good home projector for $1,000 and under? I'm not sure. If you can get one, a laser projector, that's going to be really good. And the short throw projectors are freaking amazing. However, I've not seen one under $1,000. But the main thing is checking out the looms to make sure it's bright enough. The contrast to make sure the colors are good. And those are the two main things to look at. If there is one that is laser or DLP, definitely look into it. I liked Far Cry 5 a lot. If you like a game that's filled to the brim with stuff, do get it. I think my next one's going to be, what is it called? Becoming Human or something like that. That new game that's about to come out this week, actually, I think. I'm thinking of purchasing a Samsung Curve TV. Any suggestions, RSCKY? Okay, so here's my opinion. I think the Curve is great for monitors. I think the Curve is great for monitors because it's a smaller space and it's one person that's looking at a monitor typically. Even if you have two monitors set up like I do, I would have loved to get a Curve version of this because it would curve in, and again, it's only me looking at it. However, I do not support Curve TVs. Here's why. Curve TVs only have an ideal viewing position for 3 people. Which means if I bought this amazing 65-inch TV and I had a bunch of people over for NFL game day or for WrestleMania or anything like that where I have a bunch of people over my house, most people wouldn't have a good view of it. So I am a very social person. I like to have a lot of people over and, you know, watch stuff with me on my TV. So I would never get a curved TV for that reason. Your viewing angles are horrible outside of the 3-person range. However, if you really are going to be only 1 or 2 people watching a TV, then you should, curved TV isn't bad at all for that case scenario. But you really do have to be in front directly of the TV, so just know that. Samsung is one of the last manufacturers of a curved TV. I think what the NU7500 is the least expensive curved TV version that is 4K, that is HDR, that does have nice blacks. There are better ones than that, but I think it's the cheapest one, so it depends on the price range you're trying to go for at that point. This Samsung ad, I must admit, is very poor taste. Oh, was that the latest one? Was like, I haven't seen it, but I heard there was one where like they brought back the guy with the notch, and then the kid had a notch haircut too, and it was a girl or having issues with their phone or something like that. Yeah, I heard it wasn't good. I haven't seen it though. What are my desktop specs? I have 1 terabyte solid state drive. I have an i7 processor, Extreme 6th generation, I want to say. I want to make sure of that actually. 32 gigs of RAM, i7 7700 is the processor that I have. I have an NVIDIA GTX 1070? Yeah, 1070. 1070. And yeah, I think that's everything. I also have a 4 terabyte hard drive besides my my main one as external storage as well. My OnePlus 5 runs okay when tweak my phone. So long updated Android Web TV. When you updated OnePlus's Android Web View, apparently it got a lot faster. That's really cool. Is Becoming Human open world? I don't remember. I would have to look at it again, but it seemed like a really cool story. I look for story first, and then I look for gameplay. I know that's not the same for a lot of people, but I like gameplay, but I have to have a really good story for me to really get into it, because I play campaign mode. I don't play multiplayer a lot, really. So I am all for campaign mode, and that's why this game seemed to be right up my alley. Plus, you know, it's all techie and stuff, and it's not garbage like, what was it, Watch Dogs 2? I never played it, but I heard it was really garbage and everyone hated it, so I was like, okay, well, never mind. Don't like waiting for app updates. I understand. Opinion on Sundar Pichai, the Google CEO. I don't think he is as influential as Steve Jobs. Oh no, he's not. But to be fair, the guy only took over the job, what, 2 years ago? So yeah, I mean, most people don't even know who he is, but they know Larry Page more than him, or Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt, I think, was the CEO before, and Larry Page was another one. So yeah, I think people know them a lot more than them. What's the wildest big screen TV available? Widest or tallest? Like diagonally. Diagonally is how TVs are measured. So the biggest one I've seen at a store was 88 inch. The biggest one I've seen at CES was like 120 inch. So if you were in charge of Samsung phone division, what would you do? I would make our phones the top phones out there, unquestioned. So for this year, the Note 9 would have the 5 things I said it should have for it to sell like crazy, which is it would have, you know, it wouldn't have a notch, obviously. It would have 8 gigs of RAM. It would have a 4,000 milliamp battery. It would have an in-fingerprint display. Those are the big three that it needed to have. But yeah, if it had those, I could throw that phone down against your iPhone 11. I can go throw that phone down against your Pixel 3. I can throw that phone against down everything. I'm like, what? We won. Thank you. But that's the kind of thing. Like I am. Don't wait till tomorrow. Put your best thing out that you have now and crush it. Thank you for answering my question. Saw Samsung Curve 65-inch for a great price, $750 at Sam's Club. And yes, it will only be for 2 people viewing. Awesome. You should definitely get it. That's a great price for it. I like story, but I like the game that will let you explore at your pace. Dude, that's why I loved God of War. That was awesome. Watch Dogs 2 was very repetitive. It was a good idea, but unfortunately stopped playing it. Yeah, that's why I heard a lot of people didn't even finish it. What do you think about the Huawei Mate RS Porsche Edition? Do you think it's worth the price? I have not heard too much about the RS Porsche Edition version. I did hear about the RS, which was a good phone, but I've not heard about the Porsche Edition. I don't see the Porsche Edition as necessarily ever necessary, but I don't know how much it costs. So if you tell me how much it costs, I'll tell you if it's worth it or not. What's the difference between Android Go and regular Android? Android Go is basically a version of Android that's very light. So that version, or no wait, is it? Android 1 was before, now it's Android Go. Okay, yeah. Android Go is a very light version of Android that can run off of 1 gig on a smartphone. It's a very light version. It's made for phones that are not that big with tech, and generally are for very cheap price. Can you please wish me a happy birthday since today's my birthday? Of course, Omar. Happy birthday. Hope you have a really good day. Yeah, width, I don't know. Width, I don't know which one's the biggest one width-wise. Would anyone like a notch on their big screen TV? No one would like a notch on their big screen TV. I remember when Samsung had like a pop-up camera. I thought that was pretty cool. See, Vivo took all the credit for that. Samsung had a pop-up camera on their TVs. How do you see the future of mobile phones? I see the future of mobile phones, honestly, I still see it as like a Google Home thing. I think cell phones will be gone in 10 years. I really do. I believe it will move towards a wearable, either a smartwatch or an earpiece with a screen in front of you. I think that is the future. And again, it's the more augmented reality is developed, the more things are beneficial like that. I think they have to figure out privacy more so, definitely. But that's going to be the future, in my opinion. Ricky, would you say that you are biased when it comes to Samsung, or do you just really like their products? I like their products. And here's my thing. People always say that I favor Samsung. Here's the truth about me and Samsung. To be honest, I do a lot of videos. They don't get as many views. I do Samsung videos. They get a lot more views. This is why I favor Samsung on my channel, not because they're necessarily the best at everything, but because of the fact, like, okay, I have a Samsung laptop, right? But would I gladly get, like, you know, a Razer laptop over it? Absolutely, I would. But the problem with that is that I really, it's all about price point for me. It's a lot of different things for me. But at the end of the day, I don't think Samsung is necessarily the best at everything. But the biggest reason why you see so much Samsung on the channel is because it gets the most views. Time and time again, I've seen my analytics. If I do a Samsung video, it's easily getting thousands of views. If I do another video, it rarely gets over 1,000 views. So I have to do what my viewers want. What do you do to make your phone faster? Check out one of my how to speed up your phone videos and you will see that. Do you think Android will ever come out with anything that can rival iMessage? They're trying to next year, but we'll see. Or yeah, by next year. I really enjoying the Oreo update on my Note 8. Cool. $2,000 LOL too high. know what that's referring to. But I don't know how much a $1,000 TV or phone, in my Flossie Carter voice, that's too goddamn much. Yeah, I agree. Hello, you don't like Call of Duty? I see you have a Call of Duty logo. No, I don't. I honestly, I'm not into multiplayer games anymore. I don't have the time. I'm not into multiplayer games really anymore. That was back in my day. Back in my day when I was playing Counter-Strike. Very competitive. Did it all that kind of stuff. Every game that came out, Quake, all this kind of, very competitive back in the day. Don't have the time anymore. I'm not convinced in-display fingerprint scanner. Oh, you'll see. You'll see. It's mainly just because it's going to look amazing. When you have a full screen display in front of you, it's going to be great. And I do still favor the fingerprint scanner in the front way more than the back. I think cell phones are too overpriced. I agree. That's why I never upgrade from my Note 5. Why you have to upgrade every single year? Stupid. It is for some people. Some people find it worth it. Obviously, I'm a reviewer, so I'm going to upgrade my phones. But yeah, there have been times where I've really thought, if I wasn't a reviewer, I would not upgrade to this phone. What carrier do you have? T-Mobile. I had Verizon since AirTouch, and then I switched to T-Mobile about 3 or 4 years ago now. 4 years ago, I think. What you think the best budget phone to use, or phone for a gamer, or cheap price phone for a gamer to use? The Moto G6 is probably going to be your best bet for cheapest budget phone. If you can stretch it to for 400, there's different ones, but it really depends on what price range how cheap are you going. I think I want to drive with Google phone glasses on. It would be really dangerous. Oh, I wouldn't drive with it on. I can tell you that Google goggles, Google Glass, I did try it. I was at the Google headquarters and I did try it. It doesn't get in your view. You had to look, I forgot what it was, look up or down for you to focus on it. If you look straight, it was not in your view. But if like you look down, then you could see it, or looked up, I forgot which way it was, but it was not in your view. So you could actually see straight the entire time and never notice it until something would come up, and then you might notice it. But then it's no different from like a dash, any dash item that you see, which is considered safer than something on the side over here. Next tech rant, I don't know. Samsung needs to understand that us Samsung fans expect noticeable innovation. I agree. One thing I don't like, Call of Duty people cheat on fair, hard, yeah. Well, campers, you know. Are you going to get the red phone when it comes out? Please review it. Probably not. That's a lot of money, and I don't think that'll get that many views, to be honest. At least on my channel. $2,000 is the price for the Huawei. Oh, hell no. Hell no, $2,000 is not worth that Mate RS. Hell no. No, it's not. When will the Note 9 be available? August. What you say about the Vivo V9? I don't know the V9 per se, but the Vivo's been doing amazing this year. From what I'm seeing regarding the upcoming Note 9, honestly, I think I will stick with my Note 8 and upgrade to the Note 10. Yeah. How do I stop Samsung phones from burn-in? My 8 and Note 8 both have burn-in pinkish color on white screens. Try not to use the same app as much, or never go orange at the screen brightness. So, you know, at the top over here, you can go all the way, let me lower this more. you can go all the way down here, right? And you can get to all the way blue, but not go orange. If you don't go orange, the screen's not bright enough that it'll burn in. So that's another thing to do. Okay guys, we have gone over our time, so we will be wrapping up our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. But yeah, make sure to give a like, thumbs up before you head out. Lots of videos coming this week. Some pretty nice and fun ones. A lot of headphones coming out as well. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe up there. Make sure you follow us on social media right here. And of course, check out our latest video up there. And right down here, you're going to find the perfect video for you. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. Thanks again.